Grand Moff Tarkin, the cold architect of fear who ruled the Empire through terror. Few figures in galactic history embodied the cold efficiency of the Galactic Empire more completely than Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin. Where others ruled through passion, mysticism, or brute force, Tarkin ruled through fear, order, and absolute belief in authority. His life traces the Empire's ascent and its fatal overconfidence. Born into the powerful Tarkin family of Eridu, Wilhuff Tarkin was raised in a harsh environment designed to crush weakness. His upbringing was deliberately brutal. Survival hunts, psychological tests, and lessons in dominance were common. Compassion was considered a flaw, mercy a liability. These early experiences shaped Tarkin's worldview. Order was everything, and fear was the most reliable tool to enforce it. Tarkin entered the Republic Judicial Forces and later the Republic Navy, where his tactical brilliance and ruthless pragmatism set him apart. He showed little concern for collateral damage, believing that swift, decisive brutality ultimately saved lives by discouraging rebellion. During the Clone Wars, Tarkin worked closely with Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, who recognized in him a kindred spirit, someone who believed democracy was inefficient and the galaxy needed firm control. As the Republic fell and the Empire rose, Tarkin thrived. He became the chief architect of what would later be known as the Tarkin Doctrine, a simple but terrifying philosophy. Rule through the fear of force, not force itself. Under this doctrine, planetary destruction became a legitimate political tool. Civilian populations were considered acceptable leverage. Rebellion was to be crushed, preemptively, not responded to. Tarkin was rewarded with the rank of Grand Moff, granting him control over entire sectors of the galaxy, authority rivaled only by the Emperor and Darth Vader. Tarkin's ultimate symbol of control was the Death Star. To Tarkin, the battle station was not merely a weapon, it was the end of dissent itself. One demonstration of its power he believed would pacify the galaxy indefinitely. He personally ordered the destruction of Alderaan, a peaceful core world, to make an example of Princess Leia Organa. The act shocked even some Imperial officers, but Tarkin never wavered. Fear, once unleashed, could not be negotiated with. It could only be obeyed. At this point, Tarkin stood at the height of Imperial power. Even Darth Vader, feared across the galaxy, deferred to him aboard the Death Star. Tarkin's downfall was not caused by rebellion alone, but by hubris. When warned of a potential weakness in the Death Star, Tarkin dismissed it as impossible for rebel forces to exploit. He refused to evacuate, convinced the station was invulnerable.
Analyze their attack, sir, and there is a danger. Should I have your ship standing by?
Evacuate? In our moment of triumph? I think you overestimate their chances.
And that fear alone would end the Rebel Alliance. He was wrong. During the Battle of Yavin, a small rebel strike force exploited the station's fatal flaw. As alarms sounded, officers urged Tarkin to flee. He declined, standing calmly at his command station, unwilling to admit failure. Moments later, the Death Star exploded. Grand Moff Tarkin died as he lived, unyielding, confident, and utterly convinced of his own correctness. Tarkin's ideas shaped the Empire at its peak and doomed it in the long run. His doctrine united systems through fear, crushed dissent in the short term, ultimately inspired resistance rather than submission. The Death Star's destruction proved that fear without legitimacy breeds rebellion, not loyalty. Tarkin remains one of the most effective and most dangerous non-force sensitive figures in galactic history, a man who believed order justified at any cost, and who helped build an empire that collapsed under the weight of its own terror.